Let's talk about Oklahoma State Senate Bill 559, sponsored by Senator Bergstrom. So currently in the state of Oklahoma, if you want to sell funeral caskets, then you have to be a licensed funeral director, even if you do nothing else to do with funerals, even if you're not dealing with grieving families, for example, planning the funeral, doing embalming of bodies, any of the other stuff that's involved in being a funeral director. If you want to sell caskets in the state of Oklahoma, you have to be a licensed funeral director. And that means going through a long, complex, onerous, expensive process, lots of training to do services that you're never actually going to provide to the public. This is kind of anti-competitive, and it's protectionist as well, right? So it means that the Oklahoma Funeral Board, the Oklahoma Funeral Association, can protect its current members and mean that they're protected from competition by other people. We at the Institute for Justice don't think that's very good. There's a company in Oklahoma called Caskets of Honor, which is a small family-owned business run by two great people, Todd Collard and Candy Mentink, and they make caskets. They make specialty funeral caskets, and they'll decorate them and customize them according to whatever the person happens to be. They often specialize in making them for military veterans, for example, for police officers, firefighters, and so on. But really, whatever theme you want for your casket, then they're happy to make it for you. But because they're based in Oklahoma, if they want to sell to another Oklahoman customer, if they want to sell a casket just to their next door neighbor, they have to sell that from another company that's registered in the state of Texas back into Oklahoma, taking advantage of the Interstate Commerce Clause under the federal law, because just selling that within Oklahoma is illegal because they're not licensed funeral directors. This bill, State Senate Bill 559 by Senator Bergstrom, will change that. So it amends the current law, Section 396 of the Oklahoma Code. And what it does is it inserts a bit of language that says, any person, organization, or business that sells funeral services, merchandise to the public without providing any other funeral services shall not be subject to the Funeral Services Licensing Act. So that means that if you just want to sell caskets, then you can go ahead and do that. Like, it's just a box, right? It's, where your mortal remains go when you have moved on to a better place. Like, there are no safety considerations, there's no dealing with grieving families, you're providing a product, and you shouldn't need to be a licensed funeral director to do that. So we at the Institute for Justice very strongly support this Senate Bill 559 by Senator Bergstrom. We will be very proudly testifying in support of it when it comes up for a committee hearing, as hopefully it will, and I look forward to updating you on its progress as it goes through. This is kind of some of the random bills that I love to deal with, right? Never did I think when I was at law school I'd be digging into the details of what it is to be a funeral director and the laws around embalming and so on, but in terms of economic liberty, it's often death by 1,000 cuts, and this is one of those cuts we can prevent to increase economic liberty and opportunity for everyone.